Hey, who's ready for the heavy? It's day 4 of Ditch the Dabbling, grow a real business on social media without using ads. You can do it organically. You can build your legitimate business. You can stop the haters in your life from saying, when are you going to get a real job? When are you going to create some real money out of this side hustle? When is it going to turn legit? Not everybody has those people in their life, but there are a lot of people. I'm wiping up water from all over my desk. What's new? There are a lot of people that struggle with that in their lives, where the people that are looking over their shoulder being like, cool, you're at your computer again. You ever going to make any money? Cool, cool, cool. We have bills to pay. Looks like you're spending a whole lot of time doing that, but not making any money. Why don't you get a real job? Why don't you go get something part-time where you can actually count on the money every month? We don't have consistent income. You made money before. Why can't you make money again? These are things that other people are speaking into entrepreneurs' lives, and maybe that's you. And if it's not you, maybe you're the one telling it to yourself. And truly, if you're not making consistent income every single month, you're going to say that to yourself, like, right? Like, Jenny Ray, my queen, my queen. By the way, I was laughing for a long time, and so were my kids at our conversation last night. It was amazing. So your consistent income every month, obviously it's critical. Obviously, you have to be able to count on the income you make every month, or else what are you doing? You know, if it will come down to, I'm going to go get a job and be an employee again, or I'm going to be full on board, take a real crack at the entrepreneurial thing and make some real money and grow the dang thing. I'm going to really do it for real this time. And hey, Courtney, Kristen, Andrew, what's up, guys? The crew. Yes, you guys are awesome. So, like, let me know, first of all, if you've been in business before, if you've been an entrepreneur before, and you have started out and you've had those inconsistent months where you're like, yeah, I got a client, awesome. Or I sold these products and that was great. And then you have this lull where nothing happens and you're like, how do I do that again? How do I make that happen again? It felt like it was easy. It felt like maybe luck. It felt like they just kind of came to me and I had the sales and that was great, but like, I don't know how to reproduce that. And I certainly don't know how to reproduce that in a way that I can count on it and just pull money out of my business whenever I need to, whenever I want to. A lot of people struggle with that. So let me know if that was you. Monica, what's up, girl? So it's, if you're not making money every month, if your business isn't growing, it's dying. Like, if you can't count on the money coming in, your business won't work. So let's solve that problem. Let's not let that be a reality for you, because there are lots of reasons why businesses sometimes fail, and not everything has to do with you, but this one does. Figuring out how to get consistent months is on you. That's your responsibility. And I know you love what you do, so I don't want you to have to quit that for something as stupid as like here and there money. So yeah, Courtney, I mean, right? It's just normal. It's like, also, we were never taught how to do business properly. So like, nobody taught us that in school. And unless you grew up in an entrepreneurial family, nobody's gonna, it's not, how do you know? How do you know how to do it? Andrew, I got a sale yesterday by telling myself you need to stop being a little, right before I went live. Okay, I'm gonna pause before I go into this deep work right now and point out what Andrew just said. He just talked himself into getting a client because he had the mindset. This is such a mindset shift. It's such a mindset. I'm going to get the client. I decide to make more money. I've told clients before, so go out and make more money. Go out and make more money. After they have the systems, after they know what to do, I'm like, so go make more money. And they're like, what? And I'm like, go make it. Go sell stuff. Go sell your thing. Go serve the people. And they're like, they forget it's as easy as that. So when you, Andrea, don't worry, I'm still showing up with this raspy 1-900 voice. I got you. Smoker's voice for life, girl gang. So Andrew just talked himself into it, like, hey, stop playing small, stop being a little B word, and show up for these people. Andrew knows he's got it. He's got a tribe of DJs that are like chomping at the bit, drooling over his content, wishing they could be more like him, learn from him. These people, I've seen his content. These people are like, how do you do what you do? They're lined up and waiting for you, Andrew. It's like Grand Slam material. These guys are all on base. Pitcher's tired. He's throwing right down the center. There's no curve on his ball anymore. Over the fence, please. Let's go. So you're going to hear some more sports analogies. I'm really getting into it. I'm really excited about this topic, though, because you guys need to freaking make some money every month. Like, you need to do this. Otherwise, your business is going to die. And, like, what's the whole point? The whole point is to keep your business going, serve these people, do this thing that you love, like, change some lives. You can't do that if you're not making money. Let's make money. All right. So This week we talked about creating content that converts into paid clients, right? We talked about how to get more clients. Spoiler alert, it's a calling in the clients. It's calling them into your circle, magnetizing what you do for who you need to work with, helping them out in a deep way so that they can actually come and want to work with you. And they can come in and they can bring their friends in and they know where to find you and all of that good stuff. Your language and mindset are key to that, by the way, like Andrew just said. Tell us if you're the one that's worrying about what you're going to do because of the money, because the money's not coming in yet, start framing it differently. I haven't made the money yet and I can't wait to make it. Instead of, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is so painful. Am I going to have to quit? Instead of going down that train, that's awful. That's death and desperation. Instead of going down that train, I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm willing to do the things. Who do I need to speak to? Who do I need to connect with? What do I need to know in order to get this thing consistent and like get this engine cranking? What do we need? Start thinking about it that way. Then your mind's open for those experiences, those opportunities, those connections, and those people to serve. Okay. Oh, you have notes. Okay. Pookie Squared is here. Oh my gosh, is she here? Okay. Alex, the first sale we have to win is ourself. Well stated, sir. Sell yourself on your business. If you can't, that's a really good point, Alex. Step one, if you don't believe that you can do this, you're never going to do it. Your clients are certainly not going to believe it if you're struggling to believe it yourself. Know that you can help them, and if you're not at that point, start serving more people until you know you can help them. And if you have to do it for free in the beginning to get your confidence up, do it. But like, stop pretending that like you're not sure if you can help them or not. You better know that you can help them. And after that, it's like, just get in that mindset again. Just remember who you are. Let's go. Smoker gang for life. Cartoon for Marlboro cigarettes. I've never smoked a cigarette in my entire life, guys. But I love talking like Marge Simpson's sisters. I don't. It's just the pollen, man. This sucks. Okay. So then we talked about yesterday, we talked about what your business is missing and how you can scale. So ditching the a la carte crap and this menu item stuff and then offering this one core transformational offer. I call it a flagship offer. It's the thing that you become known for. It's the thing that people refer for because you do this method, you do this system, you do this transformation. And people know it. And if you do it all day long, and that's what you talk about all the time, then it's going to be real easy for people to connect with you. It's going to be real easy for people to refer to you. It's going to be real easy to communicate that to everybody. And then they look. They're going to look. They're going to look at your social pages. They're going to want proof. They're going to want you to back it up. And when you have that all over the place, they're going to be like, oh, that's all they do all day long. They're full time. I'm going with them. I'm going to go with them. Look at all the testimonials. Look at all the people that are talking back and forth with them. So today we're going to talk about how you can ditch those inconsistent months and create some steady income in your life. Let's do it. Okay, pen and paper time. Who brought note-taking skills, materials, signature, creating materials? I love stationery so much. I have my fountain pen with me today. I went so extra. Cautionary tale, they leak sometimes. But if you're serious about note-taking, this is where it's at. I'm going 1890s on all of you. All right, story time. You start building a business online. You start showing up. You get people interested. You actually get some people to sign up for what you do. Then you make a couple sales. You're excited, right? And then what? You serve them well. The testimonials are great. And then nothing. And then you don't have any money. And you don't have any clients to serve. Then what? How are you going to get more people to sign on with you? How are you going to do this thing online where you don't have this month-to-month worry about, am I going to have the money in? And this worry obviously causes fear, anxiety, doubt that you can do what you're doing. It can cause those spousal relationships or significant other relationships where they're like, get a real job. If you're not going to do this right, get a real job. I can see where they're coming from, of course, right? Like, it's a struggle when you don't know what to do, but it's also like, what about them? What about the family? What about everything? So wondering if you can pay enough bills, getting shade from people in your life, like worry and fear and panic about this thing. So we're not settling for that anymore. Let me know in the comments before I go into these steps. Let me know if you know that you belong in this space doing what you're doing. Let me know if you know it's a calling for you. Like, you know that you're meant to be doing this. And it doesn't have to be don't be like, well, I don't know if I can see myself doing this for 25 years, but like, do you know that this is a calling, a tug inside of you that you just can't ignore and that you should be doing? And if you only knew how to do it right, then it would be game over. Because when you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's like, well, I guess, and then you're going to get disinterested in this and you're not going to try all the way and you're going to look for another shiny object. So I would recommend, hell yes, Alex, good. I mean, damn, if you don't do what you're planning on doing, like, what a shame, because I absolutely believe in you and I know you can. you're the person for it. But truly, check yourself. Like, check your heart. Do you belong in this space? Because if you don't, you won't commit to it. You won't do the things, and you will find something else that interests you part-time. It's got to be a pull. Courtney, awesome. Monica, I feel it. It's calling me. Perfect. This is what you need. That's the first step. Okay, so let's create something that can create consistent incomes for you guys. We talked about this whole week building. We're day 4, building on the systems. Now, this is important for the consistent months. We talked about the content to convert to clients. You have to have that foundational structure for people. So if you haven't seen video 1, go back. Day 2, we talked about calling in the clients, where to show up so that people can find you, and using that consistent quality content that you have so that they can come into your world, do the things with you, find out that you're legitimate, and then that conversation starts to progress into something more serious, like working with me. And then day 3, we talked about what your business is missing, that transformational offer, not the a la carte stuff, the transformational offer, that core flagship thing that you become known for. And today it's about like, okay, if I have all those things, and they're in motion, and I'm doing that, and I'm showing up, and I've got this network, I'm curating my network, so it's not just friends and family on my list. I am open, like public, so that people can find me, and so that they can come in and they can see what I'm doing, and I'm curating on my friends list who would be a good fit for me, who I can support and who could support me, etc. Right? That's got to be in here. So today that we can actually do this, we need to be creating. This is pen and paper time. We need to be creating a system for content creation, for marketing, for selling, for serving your clients, and for scaling your business. Because if any one of those balls drop, you're going to be scrambling in that area for that month, and you can't grow. Ready to write? Number 1, content. Let's go. Bring out your fountain pen, you fancy bee, and let's go. Okay, so when we talk about this, I kind of hit it on day 1. When we talk about content and how to create content to avoid that overwhelming anxiety of, I have to write, what do I have to post today? Like, what am I going to do? And, oh my gosh, live videos, no, kill yourself. It's stressful. So let's create a system where you can create a bunch of content in one sitting. I sit down 3 to 4 hours a month in one shot and write the rest of my content for the month. That's it. It's done. Then I copy and paste it and throw it on my page. People are like, she's up so early. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Well, I am. But like, I'm not out there like just hustling at, 7:30 a.m. But I have the stuff ready to go. It's in the calendar, and I copy and paste it and I put it in there. Here's how you do it. You have to find a time during your week, during your day, where you have energy and focus, your flow time. I talked about that on day 1. If you need help finding that productivity area, like if you're like, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know where to find time in my day, I'm not efficient, everything's haphazard and chaotic, go into my free group for the training. We have a training for that. I go through, I think it's a full-blown training, and I have a template in there so that you can actually box out your day with time blocks. I have it in there for free for everybody, because how are you going to get consistent? How are you going to work less than 40 hours a week unless you're efficient with your schedule? This is how you do it with your content too. So start there. If you don't have that, like put a comment in there, productivity, #productivity. I will make sure that you're tagged in that training for sure, so that you can have it. And let me know, Courtney, if you grabbed that, if you had time to look at that yet. So when we're talking about your day in your business, creating batch content so that you have all of this content ready to rock, and all you have to do is pop it in, find a good picture, and you're done for the day. That takes me less than 4 minutes to do it every single day. Content, reels, posts, other than live video, all of it takes less than 5 minutes for me, because I'm literally copy and pasting it and finding a picture to go with it. Done. That's efficient for content, okay? We can do more systems like that. This is why people are like, how do you work like 32, 34 hours a week with 4 kids and a couple businesses? How do you do that? This way. This is how I do it. So sit down. My flow time, my power hour is like 11 to 4-ish, give or take. And so that's where my brain is more focused. I'm more steady. I have more creativity. I have more energy. And if I have everything blocked, sometimes I'll bring my cell phone all the way out of the room, like it's gone. And airplane mode too, so I can't hear it. And I will do that, Alex. I'll tag you for sure. And then, and I will, airplane mode. I'll mute it. I'll turn everything off. I will turn Wi-Fi off, and I'll start creating content in my template on my desktop, like on the actual like computer memory, not on the cloud, so that I'm not interrupted by anything. And if I can get there, if I don't have any distractions, I can flow, because it's my flow time. If you have a time like that in your day that you know about, hit it then. go into batch creation. And like I said, on day one, create it by topic, right? Go back to this video on day one if you haven't seen it. This is super helpful for content creating in batch. By topic. So if you help somebody like Alex, if you're helping people with management, with systems, with financial defense boundaries, financial boundaries, financial like I know that you're helping people. You have helped people anyway. Like get out of bankruptcy. If it's a bankruptcy topic, if it's how to turn around your credit for your business, like any of those topics, categorize those topics. And then when you have that flow time and you go to sit down to write, you're like, I'm going to just talk about the bankruptcy stuff. I'm talking about how to prevent it, how to get out of it, Because when you start focusing on one topic, then you can flow. That's when one idea sparks the next. Jumping around from topic to topic and trying to write about a bunch of stuff in one sitting is crazy for your brain. Like, it's chaotic for your brain. You have to, Kristen, I got you, girl. I'll hit you in it. You have to do one topic at a time in order to be that efficient with your flow time. So for me, what I've done before is even like in the beginning, more or less, I would say, all right, I'm going to hit an hour a day for like this whole week, like Monday through Friday, hit an hour a day in my flow time, and I'm going to hit a different topic every day, and I'm going to create it like that, just so that I can focus and create some batch content on each one of them. So that turned out to be even better for me because I had about 5 hours that week, and I ended up having 6 weeks worth of content. And when I say 6 weeks, I mean Monday through Friday. So I mean like 20 pieces of content a month. And so that was extremely powerful because I'm like, sweet. Then I'll maybe do this one more time for a couple hours later in the month and have the rest of the month banged out. So I've got I'm 2 months ahead. It's great. Do it by topic though, okay? So sit down when you're doing it, topic by topic, 3 to 4 hours. I have a systemized approach to this in our Impact Club. There's a full-blown training and a template and everything. But I do feel like that, like if you just knew that, if you just knew how to batch create, like I'm telling you right now, which you now know, I think that a lot of people could just be more productive with this, that solves a huge problem for people. Because when people, like I do this, I've said this in free trainings before, and people are like, oh my gosh, this just got so much easier. And I'm like, yes, I know, you're gonna save so much time, so good. How many kids do you have? Perfect. They're actually gonna see you this week, it's great. So then the other one, okay, step 2 for marketing. You gotta have a system for marketing, you have to. Getting your message out to the people who need to hear it and getting it out consistently. Making sure that they know what you do, how you do it, who you help, and that you're going to actually show up for them, that they can count on you. Thank you for always bearing with me when I drink from like enormous bottles. Does anybody drink from like a 50-ounce container like I do and just like wait for it to just splash all over your face? So we want to make sure that we have a system for marketing. Where are these people hanging out? Where are your channels? Where is the pool of people that are like your ideal client, your dream client? You're not just going fishing for people. You're creating a real network. You're creating real relationships. So calling in those clients. So when are you doing this? How often are you doing this? What time of day are you doing this? And are you timing yourself? When you put strict boundaries on yourself, it can often lean to, I don't want to do it at all. F you, self, I'm not going to do it. Fine, you gave me rules, like we're not playing anymore. I'm leaving the playground, I'm taking my ball with me. But if you say it's a game, like I think of business as a game all day long. I'm a former athlete, everything's a game. So if I have a timer on and I'm like, all right, you got 30 minutes, let's go. And I've got the timer, like even Google timer, like on a huge screen, and it's just that tab, it's just the countdown. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in and on my other computer over here, on my other screen, I'm gonna start connecting with people in those ways. I'm gonna nurture those relationships, I'm gonna help those people, I'm gonna answer those questions, I'm gonna do it better than other people do it, I'm gonna make sure they get that thorough response, and then I'm looking at the time, I'm like, okay, I'm on track. That keeps me on track in a game format. When I think about it like a game and not like, hey, you have 30 minutes, let's go, like bang out as much as you can. Instead, thinking of it like, who can I help as fast as I can? Like, how many people can I help in this amount of time? And that's when those systems become really, really powerful, because I decide I'm going to do 30 minutes this many times a day, a couple times a day. I'm going to make sure that they're at these times, because those times are less stressful for me. Those times I don't feel drained. I feel excited to get back to them. And they're usually buffered around, like kind of anchoring, bookending my flow time. It just turns out for me, that works for me, where it's like I'm getting into my flow time. I get excited. I'm thinking about the clients. I'm interacting with potential clients, and I'm helping them solve their problems. I'm helping them do their stuff. And then I go into flow time, and now I've got all this all these ideas because I was just having conversations. And then I get out of that, and I'm like, oof, I'm so inspired to help people because of all this content that I can't wait to give them. I'm gonna go back in and help them. So that is a really, really great time to be doing that for me anyway. And so I feel like it's very organic, it's very natural, it lends itself well to that kind of behavior in those kinds of systems. So in the systems, time and productivity training, where are you doing these things? When are you doing them? Is it good for you to do them then? Is it going to drain you to do it then? Like let's like flow chart our systems. Let's make sure that these things work together and that they're not taking all day long, that they're not taking a ton of time, because consistency trumps volume per day all day long. You only have to inject a couple hours a day in the social media world if you're intentional and not just like scrolling around playing, and that's it. And that's it. You can be doing sales activities for that much. I know people that are doing this in 6 figures that are working 15-hour weeks, and they're like, "That's good. I'm good. I'm good." They don't even want to scale. They're like, "I'm just happy with 6 figures. I'm just going to keep this train rolling. I love the way this feels. This is my lifestyle now. I don't choose to work over 15 hours a week. I love it like this." Great. But they have systems so that they only work 8 to 2 every day or whatever. I don't even know what the math ends up being like that for the end of the week, but I know they're taking half days, right? So you can dedicate that time each day at a schedule that works for you. And it doesn't matter if you're like, shoot, well, I get up at 5 a.m. and I have my other job or I have this other thing by 8. It's not like I can be there where everybody else is online. Fact check. Everybody's online all the time, all over the world, somewhere. Billions. Lots of time zones, lots of sleeping schedules. People are online all the time. And guess what? It's not anybody's responsibility to respond in real time to anything. So you get to go back to it later. If somebody responds to you, you get to show up 4, 5, 6 hours later and respond to them. Like, don't leave people hanging, but like nobody's expecting you to pick up the phone when you call their landline anymore, So don't worry about that. Take that pressure off yourself. So be intentional and create that time pocket for marketing. Be intentional. Like I said, in day 2, use the day 2 information as part of your system when you're time blocking for these activities. Follow up with these people in terms of your marketing efforts. Okay. And then for selling. So this is the third system, selling. You want to be selling. In a sense, it's your responsibility to sell all the time. And I'm not talking about hard selling. I'm not talking about pitching. I'm talking about showing up to talk about what you do and really offering that service to people that you can help. So in a sense, that's going to be happening all the time whenever those conversations come up. But when it comes to actually launching a program, if you've got this flagship offer, like we talked about yesterday, this flagship transformation, then you're going to be launching that in a small group format, large group format. One-to-one isn't scalable, so while we're talking about a scalable opportunity here, we're talking about smaller groups or building a team. And while you're probably not at that point where you're building a team yet, that's like a next level scaling, then you can start with the small group scaling where you're serving multiple people at a time in the same way. Because what did you do yesterday? We talked about creating a method, a system, something that people all walk through. And if they're all walking through it together in a systematic format, then you can take care of them all at the same time. You can take care of them in the same way. They're all having the same kind of issues in level 1 or step 1 or module 1. They're all experiencing the same blocks or confusion or whatever in module 2. Because you've already been there, you've walked through it, you've lived through it, you've created it, you've already served people this way, right? So if they're all moving through it like that, then so you want to launch that experience. You want to go into a promotion for that experience and offer that to the community in a big way. And maybe it's a limited time offer, and honestly, take notes for this. And maybe it's a limited time offer with a limited number of seats, because for a small group, you can't take on 30 people. If it's your first small group, you're not going to serve them well, especially if you're doing it on your own. So I always recommend keep it under 10. 5 to 7 is always my if you can aim for 5 to 7, you will take care of them so well, and you'll be able to discount that program a little bit as an exchange for kind of testing out your communication flow and the format and the platform that you're using for them to make sure their experience is good. And the next one, you're like, I got it on lock now. They loved it. It was a great experience. I tweaked it where they thought it could be improved. Now I'm going to go and it's going to be full price. Can't wait. Let's go. Now I can serve 7 people because I got those efficiencies down. I worked out the glitches, whatever. We often call that first try, that first experience. If you have a small group for the first time, it'll be your beta experience, your first time. And then you grow into a new pool of people. You go into a larger group that you have instead of 5 or 7, you're I'm gonna serve 10 people this time. It's gonna be great. The systems work. It's wonderful. So you launch that and you go into a promotion. And so with all of these clients served, with all of the You know what I'm going to do? We're going to play with we're going to play with numbers right now. I'm going to give you numbers so that you can actually see what this might look like for you. So in the comments, if you have a flagship offer, talk to me about how many weeks you think it is, how many weeks you believe it should be, or how many weeks you know it needs to be in order for people to experience that. In the comments, how many weeks? What is your transformation? How many weeks? 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 weeks? Like, what are you working with right now for your clients that's like a true transformation for them? Is it 3 months? Is it 4 months? Because I'm going to do a mock-up of a pricing model so you can see what this looks like in terms of your selling opportunity. Jen, I love you, Jen. How are you, love? Okay, 13 weeks. And what's the transformation, Jen? Let everybody know, because you're brilliant. Smart cookie. Jen is a smart cookie. People need to know her. Okay, so 13 weeks. If it's 13 weeks, you could smash in 4 launches a year if you wanted to. I'm going to also do this on paper because it helps me to see it on paper. So if you wanted to. Now, I like giving buffer in between. I like taking breaks. I like having some breathing room. So let's say you did 3, Jen, and you did 3 launches. And let's say the first launch, you did 7 women, and 7 women, and if this is a 13-week transformation, this is a higher ticket offer. She's talking about a transformational core flagship offer. So she's got 7 women for her first crack at this, even though I know she's a professional. She can help these people legitimately. So it's not like it's her first time. It's like her first experience in the online setting in a group format. So so if she was helping 7 women at a $2,300 price point, right? Then you're looking at math. Okay, so then you're looking at $16,100. Okay, $16,100 for her first launch. And she's doing 3 of them a year. Well, she got it down with 7 people. She's like, 7 women, they loved it. I tweaked my systems. I made it more efficient. I made myself more available in different ways that served me better. I'm going to go for 10 this time. And I'm happy to increase the price because now the program results are going to be increased. Now everybody's experience is going to be increased and the value's better because I improved things and I maybe added some things and there are bonus trainings involved and whatever. So this time I'm going to do 10 women at $2,600. So obviously this is easy math, but that is going to be $26,000 and that's her second launch of this. So if she's doing the next one and she's like, you know what though, like 12 would probably be great. I'm going to bump it up to 2,800 and I feel good about that. And I'm just going to leave it there. So 12 times 2,800 and then now she's at 33,600. So if you're there, Jen, plus the 26,000 plus the 16,100, you're at $75,700 for showing up a couple times a week with these people, doing the admin, still doing your social selling, still showing up in those ways. But this is a very, very part-time layout that I'm walking you through right now. $75,000 for 3 iterations of this in a year. And you're not jacking up the price like crazy, but like you should be improving the price along with the increase of value that you give and the increase of results and the testimonials and the reach and your time because you're doing other things with your time as you grow. So our price is $8,999. Okay, amazing. Thank you for pricing yourself properly. Do you see what Jen did there? I'm pricing low so that I can help people mentally get on board with this idea because there are a lot of people starting being like, I don't know, is $699 too much? And it's like for a transformation, people aren't going to believe that it's good enough if it's priced too low. So let's say, now let's play with her numbers, $8,999. So if you're at 7 for $899, then Jen's coming out the gate at $62,993, right? And if the next time she's like, it's too low, like it's just too low, I'm sick of doing that, I've experienced it, we give way more value, energetically, it's off. I'm definitely delivering more than the $9,000 worth of value. So maybe she goes up to $10,497 or something, $10,497, and she's serving 10 women this time. And so that's $104,970. And if Jen was like, you know what, 13 weeks, I like to do it twice, that's enough for me, then you put those 2 launches together and she's at $168,000 for the year. So she's working half the year for $168,000. Do you see how that works? And she's helped 17 people that year. So if you were to divide what you do, she's at like 9.8, almost 9.9 thousand dollars for value per person that she's delivering. Do you start to see how that can be possible for you guys in terms of, oh wait, people are charging that? Yeah, of course they are. When you have a real transformation that you're offering people, and when you're in that, and you think back to where, like, and Jen, tell me again, was that you, or were you your ideal client before you started doing this? Like, did you make the change yourself personally, or do you just have the expertise and have been serving these people in this way? I can't remember. So I think Emma told me to, and I can't remember, I'm sorry. But if you do that, like, you see this, guys, then you can say, okay, 10 women was awesome. I want to serve more, but I can't do it myself. That's when you start hiring a team. That's when you hire support, administrative help, another trainer or coach or support system or accountability person or a concierge or whatever your group needs, whatever's going to be the most. You made the change yourself. Okay, so yeah, perfect. So if Jen made the change herself, she can go back in time and be like, man, if I had the answers that I have now for these women, how much would I pay? How much would I pay to get out of that thing that I was in? And if Jen's looking at that being like, yeah, I'd pay $9,000 for that. And then Jen's also saying, I've also taught this training. I've also been in there helping these people for 13 weeks. $9,000 is not enough for what I do for them. And if I consider that I'm going to bump it up to like $11K, and I'm going to give them pricing options if they need it, or financing options even if they need it, would I have still paid for that? Yeah, I would have. I would have paid for that. That's how you can kind of get yourself to that financial level where you like unblock yourself like that. But if you're looking at the numbers, guys, hey Frank, let me know if the numbers are helpful to let you see how this thing can be scalable and also consistent. Because if you're doing a launch in this manner, and launching in a promotional period is not the only way to do it, but it is a great way to inject it. So that's why I like to have breaks in between, because it does take energy and focus and time to do a launch. But you can also have an evergreen model. But if you're doing, like if Jen's doing this for 26 weeks a year, spread out, and she's doing it for 10 hours, 12 hours a week, I mean, that's less than half the year. That is less than part-time. It's almost like leisure time at that. And if you're doing what you love, isn't it leisure time anyway? Isn't it great? So let me know if you guys like the way that this sounds, and also let me know if you think like I could never charge that much. Let me know if that's where you're at too. Jen, be able to screen and treat 10 patients with sleep-related breathing disorders. That's my father-in-law. Chronic for the last 15, 20 years. 20 years. It's so helpful what you do. So 10 patients. Yeah, it's so good. This is so good. Okay, so Alex, what you said is 12 times monthly trainings plus support in between. Take your business to the next level to achieve financial freedom. Okay, awesome. And even Alex, I would challenge you to get more specific about what that is that you do. Because sometimes when people say, like, take your business to the next level, take your health to the next level, it is a bit ambiguous, and there's room for confusion about what that actually means, and if they think that that would be helpful for them because they're not sure what that is. They might want to create financial freedom for themselves, but they might not know, well, if it's going to be 12 months, I might not be able to commit to that, or if it's going to be this much time, or if it's going to be like small group, like whatever it is, or like through a 4-step process or through a 3-step system, like whatever the thing is. And those 12-month programs can be extremely successful. So when they're designed right with true mentorship, like I know you'll deliver, that's fantastic, Alex. And you could be priced where, in my opinion, you could be priced where Jen's priced for sure, no problem. More, like 12-month program, more. Should we do quarterly launches? You can, Jen, but for 13 weeks, you better have some serious support, right? Like, because you can get 4 out of your 13-week process, but that means that you're serving people at the tail end of your program and launching at the same time, and that is hard to juggle. That's just really hard to juggle. It's really hard to juggle when you're on your own. It's also very difficult with a team. I've done it with a team, and it's just like, there's just so much going on at the same time. So having those breaks to plan, to discern what went right, what went wrong, what you can do better, what the pricing needs to be, nurturing your audience, having the energy to do that, to reach back out to people, to follow up, like all of that. I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you're not personally responsible for all of launching. So you can also do it in an evergreen model if you wanted to. But I really love that model. And you can also change things up where your availability is modified based on how often you're going to show up within that 13-week training opportunity. So we have some of that structure just because we do have a bigger team. We have some of that structure in the Impact Club where there are all qualified high-level coaches, and we're here and there, like we're all kind of spread out everywhere so that everybody can handle the people, so nobody drops off. We've got everybody covered, but it's not like everybody's responsible for every single time, because that would burn everybody out. Let me know if that makes sense. So what interval would I recommend? I would recommend taking a couple weeks break in between each one. And so if you're like, I like more than a couple weeks, so do 2 launches a year. If 3 launches a year is good for you, then 3. Because if you're doing 13, that's 39 weeks. So honestly, I can't even subtract. So I call it backwards math, guys. I'm a finance major. I call subtraction backwards math. That's what kind of level I'm at, so you're welcome. So if that's the case, Jen, you've got like a little over 3 months in between that you could scatter around, 13 weeks. Yeah, that's about 3 months. So you could do it like that. And honestly, in those pockets in between, you could be doing paid workshops, or you could be doing an in-person retreat. Like, you can fill into your business in other ways that feel really good to you. Break up the monotony. Increase the service offer, help those people that are like, that was awesome, Jen, I want more. You know what I mean? So, so that's what, the scalable model is important for. And then not only that, but like, if you're not launching that way, if you're like, oh, I'm just not ready for a launch. I'm not ready for a launch. First of all, in the Impact Club, by the way, we have an entire launching protocol template. The things you say, when you say them, how you say them, which days you say them, how you follow up, all the templates like done for you. All you have to do is drop in your material. It's so easy. And when I say easy, what I mean is simple. It's subjective what's easy for you to do in terms of energy and focus, but like, I've made it as simple as possible in the Impact. It's amazing, and I'm loving how people are actually doing it and taking advantage of it. So so in terms of the selling piece too, what are your goals? How many people do you want at the end of the year? We talked about those numbers as an example. What are your goals for the end of the year for your business? How many people do you really want to serve? How many people can you energetically handle? I know I'm going fast, but I know that you can replay this, so take as many notes as you can. And how many conversations are you having each day? Are you tracking the people that you've had connections with and conversations with online? We also have a CRM template in the Impact Club so that you can track these conversations that you're having online, so you don't lose these people, so you keep nurturing them, so you don't drop off and they're like, hey, that person was really helpful, where'd they go? And you're like, shoot, what was that person's name? Gosh, I knew their name for weeks when I was connecting with them, and then I kind of got busy and I forgot. Like, you don't lose those people. They want your help. Like, you can help them, so we don't lose those people. So how are you keeping track of these people? How many conversations a day? Are you nurturing the people that you were talking to before? Are they a qualified group of people that you're nurturing? How are you staying accountable in terms of those things? Who's keeping up with you on that? How much support do you have on that? Are you checking in with yourself quarterly to say, like, all right, what are my metrics? What are my metrics? Like, let's get real. Let's look at the numbers. Forget the anxiety that I'm having around the numbers. I don't want to look. Look at the numbers. Be unemotional about it. It's just business. Look at the numbers and see where you're falling off so that you can see where you can put support into. These systems are important. And it all really comes back to, too, like that productivity and efficiency training I talked about. If you have a time blocked for these things, then you're like, okay, these are the times where I do things like this. I'll pop these in quarterly. I'll throw them on my calendar. If I have the system set up throughout my year for these marketing, selling, content, like machine servicing client, it's a machine. You just pop yourself into it. You know what's supposed to happen when. You don't have to scramble. You don't have to get anxious. You don't have to feel like you're forgetting anything. Yeah, Jen, I love numbers. I mean, I love numbers when I have Excel next to me, so I can actually be good with numbers, get accurate with numbers. I have to qualify that. But like, look at your calendar for Q3, Q4. We're in the other half of 2021 right now, aren't we? So we still have a lot of time to make progress. Like, there's so much time. I'm watching, even in our previous, like, we had 30 clients go through the academy last term, calling it a term like it's school. There were people in there that were like, I know I can learn all the way. Like, I'll go through the whole 3 months with you, but like, I'm gonna go now. Like, I'm gonna launch now. Like, and they're able to ask questions and show up for these coaching calls and stuff. So as they're going, they're like, I'm 3 weeks in, I'm launching. We're like, all right, let's go. Like, let's support you. And so if they can do that and make these 5-figure weeks before they learn the whole thing, imagine what you can do in the next 6 months. Like, we're not done yet. And oh, by the way, like November, even by November, you're not done yet. Like, there's lots of progress to be made even in November. Are you kidding me? People like sell out programs in November, December. Like, there is so much. So if you know what to do, that's totally available to you. Alex said, Senator, do you still have your Zero to Launch training available? If so, may I please ask you to post the link? Yeah, dang right I do. Zero to Launch is going to be free forever. We promise. Alex, it's in the group training, and I will tag you in that too. Productivity, Zero to Launch. It's the whole in the free group. It's a guide section called Zero to Launch, so it takes you through all of the trainings in there, and there are some worksheets in there to fill out so that you can kind of like get really focused, discover the things you need to about your business, everything. I'll make sure I tag you in it for sure. So lots of progress to be made still from now until the end of the year. So even if you haven't made the money this year, even if you had one client this year or a few clients and you don't have the consistency, you can still knock it out of the park this year. Like, what? Like, there's so much time. Like, I am saying it is not impossible. It is not even unlikely that you can't make a six-figure year for 2021 at this point, even if you've only had a few sales. That's not unlikely at all. If you structure it right, if you have systems in place, of course you can. Of course you can. And like I said before, even if you were, which I don't recommend just because of energy, burnout, health, and all of that, I don't recommend it, but some people are kind of built for it, which is like there's exceptions to every rule. If you were doing one-on-one coaching at a high ticket too, you could take a few clients every single month with multiple six figures. It's not a big deal, as long as you're helping people for real. What did Andrew say? Hey, Rachel! I've missed something along the way. Jen, what do you mean about I missed something along the way? Are you talking about Zero to Launch? I can help you, whatever you're thinking about. So it's with that core offer that we talked about, right? Is that launching in this way, like the scalable opportunity, you still have so much time for the rest of the year, including break time in between these things, including working part-time hours instead of being like, it kills me when entrepreneurs say to me, yeah, but like, how do you get away from working 50 to 60-hour weeks? I'm like, who the F trained you to do it like this? Give me their number. We need to have a chat. 50, 60-hour weeks for entrepreneurs? What is going on? Like, some people are geared for that. Some people are like, I don't have a family that needs me, and I love what I do. It doesn't drain me. I'm lit up by it. In that case, go. Do your thing. That's great. It's a passion. It's different. But when people are like grinding and like hustling with 50 to 60 hours a week, it's not necessary. And it's certainly inappropriate if you're doing that and not making sales. Like, you're just spinning wheels. 80% of your activities should be focused on sales-related action, period. If your business isn't making money, it's dying for sure. It's dying quickly, and if it's not growing, it's dying. So Alex says, I like the idea of the beta launch. Feels great way to get started. Yes, and I am the coach that is going to tell you, do not do a beta launch for free. Do not. That's me. I don't believe in it. I believe in a discounted price for your beta. I do not believe you should be launching a full-blown program for free. Number one, they're not going to do the stuff. They're not going to get the results, so you won't get the testimonials, and you'll feel like it's your fault. The pricing was your fault. The experience was not. They will not show up for themselves unless they have skin in the game, period. We all know that psychology. It is true. If you wanted to take somebody through the experience in a way that it's a barter, that is still skin in the game to a point, depending on the level of value in that barter. But if you really want to get people transformational results, they've got to be committed, and money's the way we do it in our society. That's how we do it. So serving your clients is another system that we need to talk about, because you've nurtured them, right? Day 1, day 2, day 3, you've nurtured them, you've found them in the right places, you're calling them in to your circle, you're launching your transformational offer, your flagship program, you're launching it, you've got people in, you're serving them now. You have to have a system for serving them. You can't be available 24/7. You can't be anxiously scrambling to get back to those emails or that post in the Facebook group or whatever. You have to have systems to serve them. You do not let them drop off. You do not let them make excuses. You do not let them hide, but you do not have blood, sweat, and tears on the table and sacrifice yourself as a martyr 24/7. You'll quit next week. Gross. That's so gross. And if you did that anyway, you'd suck at serving them. You'd suck at being there for them. You'd have no energy, and you start resenting them. I've done it before, I promise. This is my fault, not theirs. My beta launch will be discounted. Definitely not free. Yeah, definitely not free for 12 months. You kidding me? We put in an educational credit system based on performance because work with highly achievement oriented professionals speak their language. Oh yeah. It's super dependent on the audience that you're talking to in terms of how you structure your offer and your program, your pricing. Definitely, Jen. Definitely. So what are your systems so that you can make sure that everybody's taken care of, served at a very high level? I believe in high service. I believe in the surprise and delight factor. Tell them what they're getting, deliver on it, and then do better. Always. And if there's ever a customer service issue, what are your protocols for handling that? Customer service issues are amazing opportunities to go above and beyond for people. Without the customer service issues that I've had as a consumer, I would not be as much of a raving fan as I am with some of the brands that I'm with now. Like, because something went wrong and I was like, mother effer. And I reach out to them and they're like, I'll do this. I'm so sorry. This is on us. That's our fault. What can I do? And I'm like, oh, you actually care about me. I thought I was going to be screaming at the wall, but like, you care about me. Then I'm like, wow, this is a really cool brand. They speak my language. They show up for me. I would totally do that for somebody else. I would totally go overboard because you don't mean to make the mistake. So make it even better than before, right? Customer service issues are huge potential opportunities to better your brand, to make people love you more. It's crazy. It's counterintuitive. It works every time. So what are your systems to handle the clients that may or may not be left behind? What's your safety net to catch these people? Experience helps to figure that out. Experience helps to create these systems because you don't always know everything until you take them through it, which is why another reason the beta launch is super helpful. Rachel says, hey Rachel, how are you, love? She says, been so super productive today implementing my academy training. So just have a cup of tea, 3 p.m., not my flow time. Need a little rest between pushing hard. Exactly. Know when to rest. Know when to take a break. Rachel, I honor you in your English tea time. I wish we had tea time like you get. Sounds so fancy. And wanting to chill and join you here. Yay! I'm loving that you're hanging out, Rachel. You know I love you. Where's your wig? Send me a picture with your wig. I love you. Your husband's great, by the way. Under promise and over deliver. Yeah, Alex. I mean, that's like your lifeblood. I know you're good at that too. And that's, look at your client base. That's why they keep coming back. Alex is the man. So considering what your clients need, how much support they'll need, when they need it, who you can put into place to support that if it can't be you, for instance. Like if there are times during the week or during the day where you're serving people in different time zones, for instance, and you're like, well, they're going to need this, but I can't be there. That's like 2 a.m. my time. I just can't be there. I've got 4 kids. I'll be sleeping. Who can I put in place for that? Who can I hire to make sure that they're taken care of in that time zone where they're awake and they're serving people and like that's fine for them. It's no big deal. So that my people that's one example of how to make sure your people don't get dropped off, right? So what are those systems for? And lastly, your systems for scaling your business. So we talked about increasing the price depending on how much you increase the value and increase the results for people and the amount of time you have available. Your increase in price should also go up for the amount of time you have available. So what does that scaling system look like? If you mapped out your year, like we just did as an example base with Jen's offer for 13 weeks, whether it be 2, 3, or 4 iterations that she's running for the year, what does it look like if you're scaling in that way with the value and the income every launch that you do versus what does it look like if you start hiring a team and putting them into place and being able to bring in more client per launch because you have more people to support? What does that team growth look like? So what do those scaling strategies look like? Map it out. And a lot of people could map this out on their own. If they're like, oh, if I thought about that, I could actually, let me see step by step through the program what they would need. If I went here, then I would need this. Like you can map that out. We do a full blown training of that in the Impact Club as well. But like I'm telling you, 10%, most of the people on this live or that ever catch this replay are not going to do these things. If you did, you would make money. If you did. Problem is, most people need accountability and support. They need somebody checking in on them because they need to have somebody put their feet to the fire, have somebody care about what they're doing, have somebody believe in them. That's why people end up not doing things for free, right? They just don't do it for free. They should. But also, is this launch model scalable for me? Can I continue to launch and launch and launch? Some people love the launch process. Some people are like, it's easy, it's flowy, it's fine. I do it 2 times a year. I do it 3 times a year. It's great. I love it. And every time I do it, I scale for more people are available. I hire some people to support me during the process. It's great, it's easy, it's wonderful. I like it, I'm keeping it. Other people are like, I'm gonna do that once in a while, maybe I'll launch once a year, but I'll have an evergreen model for this in this way. And I can upsell in coaching packages. So I can give the evergreen process away, and then if they need more support, they can buy that from me as an upgrade. And I can hire a team of coaches with me, and we can all serve those people in that way. And that's scalable without sacrificing more time in my life. Right? Let me know if that feels good. If you're seeing the opportunities here, if you're starting to see things open up in a way that like, oh, wow, the more people I serve, it doesn't mean I'm going to have to take more time and have to work 60, 70 hours a week. Absolutely. You're never going to hear me recommend that. Never. Never. So you want to scale. You want to, and we talked about the pricing issue. I just want to hit it before. I just have a feeling that some people are going to be like, well, it just feels like a lot of money. I don't feel like people would buy it. Go back. What would you pay to get out of that funk? What would you pay to get out of that mess? What would you do to be on the other side of that in this much time versus the years that it took you? What would you pay? Time is money. I would pay so much money to get out of the funk that I was in before. Like, I mean, I've paid coaches like 5 figures to get me out of the funk faster. I've done it. I've done it myself, and it's great, and I'm happy about it. I'm not like, ugh, that hurt to give that money away. I was so excited to get that result. Take my money. Like, if I could physically throw a bag of cash at somebody and like just to be dramatic and like to do it just so I could see, like, I'm throwing my money at you, so I can literally say that, I would have done it for dramatic effect. It's extra. So as you increase your service, as you increase the testimonials, as you are less available, your price goes up. This is not a matter of anything other than that's how business works. That's how time and value and money exchange work. That's how it works. It's not like I feel bad charging them more. It's like if they want it, they'll pay this. It's like if they want to get access to my time, they have to pay this to get it, because otherwise I could be doing this with my time and making this money. And it's not about I value money over people. It's about I value my time and my exchange and my energy to do the things that I'm doing. So don't be weird about pricing what you're worth. Please don't be weird about that. You will not sell properly, and you will not connect to your audience properly, and they won't believe you're worth what you say you can do for them if you're not pricing appropriately. Sharon, I love you. How are you, beautiful? You always make my day. So nurturing all those people inside your private community, making sure that you're calling, like, please let me know which step of the way in this training so far, days 1 through 4, which steps of the training have been the most helpful to you, where you're like, now I got it. Because day 5 is coming up tomorrow too. We're going to hit it again tomorrow, and this is really important stuff. I am telling you, if you don't take action on this stuff, you're wasting the next 6 months of the year. You have a whole year where you could be earning 6 figures if you wanted to. If you actually did the things, that's what the rest of your year could look like. No BS. That's what your year could look like. What are you waiting for? If you said earlier this was your passion, it's a calling, it's a pull inside of you, what are you waiting for? Are you actually doing the things? Do you have the system set up? Are you executing on the sales and the conversations that you're having? Are you pricing appropriately? Have you mapped out your year to be able to be available for these things? And are you able to systematically take people through these things in a group fashion where you can scale and you can be there for more people at a time, one to many, so that you can serve more people in a more heartfelt way, create a community and a network for them as a bonus, and then keep going? Like, do you have, what was the most helpful for you? I would love for you guys to answer me on that. Alex said, yes, big challenge to recognize the value of the transformation we help our clients achieve and then price accordingly. Alex, you've been there. Like, you know what it feels like. You know what it hurts like. You've been on the other side of it too. You know what business owners pay for that. Like, we've been in these seminars, right? Like, we've been to these trainings. Like, we know what we pay for this. People pay it in droves. They pay it because they want the results. And my goodness, if you can give them a financial path, if you can give them a method, if you can give them the freaking shortcut to these things, of course they pay for it. That's what we do. We pay for stuff we want. We pay for stuff that we want more than the money. Do you have a house? Did you buy a house because you don't feel like living in a tent? Did you buy a car because you don't want to walk? Did you buy food because you don't like not having food? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we buy stuff we want. So don't get in the way of that for people. Price accordingly. So if you've tried all these things and you're like, man, I've been piecemealing it all the way, and like I love these trainings and they're good, and I can see that I don't have the path and I need to do this thing, and I do want to take advantage of the next 6 months of the year, the Impact Club is now open. The Impact Club is what we've created for all of the entrepreneurs who want to continue to make money, to create more steady income months, to grow their business, to scale their business, to not work full time, but to work in a place where the spouse and the relationship people are not saying to you, get a real job. We're teaching and training entrepreneurs how to do this on repeat. So you don't have to scramble and go, how am I going to make money next month? No, you get to get money every month, and you get to increase your pricing, and you get to budget for the rest of the year. You get to have more freedom. You get to inject pockets of vacation, and you have the systems cranking, so you still show up online despite where you are in the world, despite if you're on vacation, despite what you're doing. Like, we have people right now that have graduated from our program who are currently on vacation and still pumping out content because it takes them 4 minutes to do it. It's like, they're not working on vacation, but people think they kind of are, and they're not, because they have systems. And Rachel said, I have a call with a friend, a potential client on Monday, and I'm concerned it will take my time and I won't get financial reward for it. I followed up with her this week to see if she's okay, and I did offer my coaching to her a few months back. She said she'd like to talk, so I offered her an hour on Monday. Any advice for me on how to structure, handle? Yes, I'm going to say that in just a second. So I'll hit that in just a second for people. That'll be helpful, because a lot of people have their friends reach out to them to see if they'd be a good fit for their services, right? And that gets really like, what do I charge my friends? So if that's you, if you're like, I want the 6 months that you're talking about, Sandra, I want that 6-figure next 6 months potential. I'm telling you, 6 figures is possible for you for the next 6 months, 100%, if you do the things. If you have the systems, if you say yes to showing up, if you put the things in place and you do them, this is what the rest of your year could look like. So if that's you, if you're like, you can create those months for yourselves, those take 10K months. You absolutely can. You need a turnkey system. So with that, like the Academy was the program that everybody graduated from. We turned it into the Impact Club in a way that's evergreen. So I talked about, you can create a program where you're launching consistently throughout the year at different pockets of the year, but we've created a format where it's now the Impact Club, where it is evergreen. Every month, it doesn't matter when you come in, you can still come in and stay on track and move through that 3-month program and stay on track and get all that stuff. We have multiple weekly calls with coaches, so you can get all your questions answered as you move through the program. What do I need? How do I do this? What's the language supposed to be? Is this post right? How should I do my live? If I'm launching, what is my sales language? How do I price my program? Is the offer I'm creating good enough? Like, these coaches, our coaches, me, we are speaking life into your business multiple times a week, looking at your stuff, looking at your things, auditing your stuff, creating this offer for you, with you, and allowing you to make real money on it. And we also have Mastermind every single month, where we're doing a true mastermind format. And so everybody's bringing their best ideas to the table to help solve the biggest problem that you have. Then we do small group breakouts. So we get small group coaching too. So there's just like so much support and accountability available. And we have an entirely gamified program. So it's so fun. And the people who've been with us as clients have been through that stuff. And it's been so much fun. Like, it's a blast. Like, I sometimes watch our trainings and I'm like, this is super fun. This is so adorable. It's gamified. It's so fun. All the material and support that you need, all of the people, the human beings that are going to be there and with you through the experience to make sure that you get what you need, that's what is available to you in the Impact Club. And then after that, it's just month to month. Do you want to stay in or not? If you're saying, it's taking me longer than 3 months, like, can I stay in? Yeah, you can stay in month to month as long as it takes you to implement the things. We know it's possible for you in 3 months or less, but we've allotted the 3 months for sure, minimum of 3 months to get through it. But if you need to stay longer, you have lifetime access to this program, lifetime. So if you want to stay longer into the Impact Club, you can do that month to month as you go. You'll always have the training materials available, always, and we always build on that and add extra trainings in there. No charge to you. It'll just keep growing as a database, as basically a library, a learning academy, a learning center for you in the Impact Club. You'll have access to those trainings for life. But if you want the ongoing coaching, support, accountability, masterminding, specialty trainings, then you can choose to stay in month to month. It's an amazing model. It works for everybody, and we're so excited about it. It's a great model to be in too, so that you can actually see it and be like, this is what I want to do for my business. this is a way that I can really scale. I see how they did this. I want to do this for me. It's wonderful. So beyond that, of course, we have a ridiculous guarantee, like a ridiculous full money back guarantee plus coaching. So if you move through the entire program and you do all the things, and at the end of it, you feel like there was no value, you get all of your money back, all of it, plus a month of free coaching for wasting your time. We know we're not going to waste your time because we're bringing the heat, but we do have the guarantee for people, you know, for the exceptions to the rule that like really feel like they had zero value altogether. So Rachel said the support is incredible. I've joined the Implant Club. I know, I'm so excited, Rachel. You guys have only ever over delivered for me. I'm so excited about the next chapter. I am so excited for you, Rachel. This is fun. Your business is so fun. Vera, how are you, Vera? You're getting in, Vera. I'm so excited. You're coming into the Impact Club. This is awesome. It's going to be so much fun. Man, we have the best people. I swear to God, like the best people in the world together. It's such an incredible group. These people are making moves. All right, so Rachel, let me talk to your question really quick. Dang it, these things are super glitchy on here. Let me go to my page on my computer, see if I can see it better, because it just keeps like popping back up on the screen, Rachel. Oh, Jen, I'm just seeing that too. You actually calculated the inaction piece, and that's wonderful. Okay, that's wonderful. All right, so any advice for you on how to structure, Rachel, when you're talking about pitching to a friend? So when you're doing that, so you're not an unpaid coach, you don't want to be an unpaid coach. If it's a friend, you might want to consider bartering. If there's a barter relationship there where she can offer something to you and you're keeping each other accountable, that's not unacceptable. If you want to do it that way, that's worked great for a lot of people. Otherwise, just say, like, I love you, I love you, I love you. But because I'm like charged for this amount of time, and it's really the time that it takes to do this stuff, that's how I get paid. So I'm willing to offer, maybe you offer them a discount. Not, you don't have to, but like if you're really feeling it, if you're really feeling led, maybe you can offer them a discount to that, but you don't have to. And you can say, and like, I totally get it if you don't want to pay, but like, this is how, I mean, it's just a lot of time that I do, and I cannot wait to show up and give you the results that you want to get. But otherwise, here's the, like, you know, some free assets that you can have, or some freebies you can get on board with. So, Vera, isn't it the best, amazing support, best family ever? It is a family. People say that, but like, you get into the Impact Club and you know it. Like, people are aggressively supporting each other on their social media pages and referring friends and stuff to their businesses. It's amazing. So if that's something you're interested, if you're like, I want that action, I want that next 6 months to look like my life, I want those 6 figures, I want to get serious in my business, then I'm going to put the link for the application. You fill out the application, you answer the questions, you get on a call with our team, and it's not going to be a pitch like that. It's not going to be this pressure to get into the Impact Club. It's going to be, are you in a good spot where the Impact Club makes sense for you? And if not, what are we going to do? Refer you to something else that might work better for you at this stage in the game. So no pressure to do anything, but like, if that's what you want, if you want your business to look like that, to get to that next level by 2022, let's go. What are you waiting for? If you have a calling, if you have a pull, it's time. We can absolutely show you how to do it. And there's no risk because there's a guarantee anyway. So if that's you, I'm going to put the link in as soon as I hop off. I know I have a call coming up in just a minute, but if that's you, putting the link in, you can get in touch with me too if you forget, or if you're like, where was that link? Reach out to me. That's totally fine, and I'll send you the link so that our team can like help you out right away. And man, I can't wait to get started. It's going to be fun. We got our first one coming up today, so I'm excited. So anyway, guys, I'm so glad you showed up. Tomorrow we're going to be doing it again. We're going to be doing it again. Show up tomorrow. We got our last training tomorrow. It's going to be at 9:30 again, same time, same bat channel, and we're going to make sure that you have some action items to take away for your business. It's critical. I'll tag everybody in what I said I would as soon as I get off my next call. And you're welcome, Rachel. Yeah, treat it like a strategy call all the way. Be friends with her, but go through it like a potential client, like you would anybody else for sure. I love you guys. Love you all. Sharon, you're so sweet. I will see you again tomorrow at 9:30. Bye, guys.